The Evolve leadership was terminated, apparently. I'll just let the cat out of the bag. It is not good, guys. I never got an email, and I still never got that email to this date. They waited until the day before the US presidential election to start alerting end users of the results of that reconciliation. Please also find readily available the definition of gaslighting. Fraud! If you've been following this channel for a little bit, then you're aware of the Yotta Bank situation. My main bank, Yotta Bank, scammed me out of my life savings. I made 2 videos about it, going over the entire situation, and today we're hitting part 3, where essentially I get slapped in the face, and so does the rest of the end users. Now, if you're not caught up on all this, I highly suggest you guys check out both the videos. The first one goes over what happened, when it happened, and how we all got here to begin with. The second video goes over some updates that occurred over the course of a month after the incident happened, and my response to meet Kevin's surface level knowledge of the situation as he tried to play defense for his friend Graham Stephan. In today's video, we're going to talk about some further updates leading to the reconciliation program that Evolve offered. And I'll just let the cat out of the bag. It is not good, guys. So I'm your boy Peablar. Welcome to Peablar TV 2. Let's jump right in. So essentially, last time I left off, all the banks were pretty much arguing with each other and nothing was really moving. However, the courts did appoint somebody to oversee the reconciliation and, counting up the ledgers and everything, but nothing really happened at that point. It was pretty stagnant for quite a while. It was just court hearing after court hearing, week after week, and nothing was really getting done until eventually they announced that they would start rolling out a reconciliation plan. Things were finally getting, put into movement. I got a little bit excited. I was like, hey, my money may actually come back to me. And a few of the other, partner banks such as AMG and Lineage, I believe did do some payouts and people were receiving their money. Now, my money was held at Evolve, so nothing was happening with Evolve yet. However, they were talking about their reconciliation plan, and everything was going to be officially announced for Evolve on October the 18th, I believe. However, I looked on Reddit and they postponed it, I believe, to October 22nd or something along those lines. So in that court hearing, they essentially stated that they were done with their investigation and the reconciliation program was pretty much around the corner, stating that all of the end users should receive an email. Now, initially, I never got an email, and I still never got that email to this date, and there's a ton of people on the Yotta subreddit as well who did not get this update. What is the deal? Then a Redditor posted the link that was provided to them in their own email, sharing it to everybody regardless of if they got an email or not. And pretty much it brought to a homepage that Evolve made regarding this entire situation with a bunch of videos going over it and text explaining the reconciliation program. So let's check that out.
Hello, I'm Scott Lenore, founder of Evolve Bank and Trust. I want to share some important information about the Evolve process to return funds held at Evolve to the Synapse brokerage end users impacted by the Synapse bankruptcy. First, let me thank you for your patience and understanding. I realize how frustrating the Synapse reconciliation process has been to everyone involved. Frustrating for us at Evolve, frustrating for our fintech partners, and more importantly, frustrating for the end users. Evolve was one of multiple banks working with Synapse when it filed for bankruptcy. These banks were hired by Synapse, and each bank performed various payment services for Synapse. The number of banks increased the complexity of the reconciliation. From the start, Evolve's goal has been to return the right amounts to the right end users as quickly as possible and in a responsible manner based upon accurate accounting. Unfortunately, Synapse records of end user balances were deeply flawed and unreliable. Knowing how important it is that we get this right, we initiated a detailed process of reconstructing end user balances. We hired an independent global expert services and advisory firm that specializes in complex reconciliation projects. This firm and Curra Consulting reconstructed end user balances using Synapse transaction level data instead of their inaccurate ledger. In addition, our expert diligently sorted millions of end user transactions in both Synapse and Evolve's records to arrive at account level balances at Evolve in which we can all have confidence. This was a significant undertaking, and it has taken more time than anyone would have liked. But we firmly believe it is in everyone's best interest to be as thorough as possible. And ultimately, we confirmed that Synapse record of end user balances in many instances was wrong. And so I know this has taken a long time, but it was a responsible thing to do, and we are glad we did it. We are now in a position to begin the process of returning funds to those with Synapse brokerage balances at Evolve. We have launched a website, reconciliationbyevolve.com, which includes details on the process to return funds including payment options and information on disputes. We've also established a dedicated team of professionals to answer your questions and provide additional information. End users can call our reconciliation resource team at 877-873-0008. As I close, let me just say once more how much we appreciate your patience throughout this process. We hope you can appreciate our efforts to balance getting payments made quickly with getting those payments right. Thank you.
And so that's the video, and they posted a bunch of other videos underneath, kind of saying the same thing over and over in different ways, breaking it down into each group. And when I initially watched this, I was like, all right, you know, it's a little scary, but it sounds okay. Because my initial understanding was that Evolve was just waiting to pay everybody out, waiting to make sure that the ledgers were correct. And then they used verbiage like, oh, Synapse's ledgers were not correct, and we made sure that they're correct. So it's immediately implying that there's going to be a discrepancy based on the payout and what you initially had in your bank account. So I was a little worried, but at the same time I was thinking like, hey, I'll incur like $1,000 or maybe even $5,000 taken out of my account. I'd be happy with that. And that's what I was expecting. And they announced here that the reconciliation would begin on November the 4th. So up until that date, I was just waiting to receive this email from Evolve, which I never received. So I was just biting my nail saying like, do I even have an account with them? What is the dealio, bro? I never received anything from them, but I obviously was, you know, on the Reddit a lot, just going through. And the CEO of Synapse, the night prior to the reconciliation program, he tweeted all of the ledgers from his account. And everybody's information was on there. It seemed like a really weird move and almost like a security risk. Like, I don't know if that's legal or not, but everybody's information was on there. So I was on my phone at like midnight and I was scrolling through and I finally found my name on the list. And I was like, all right, so I'm in here for sure. I was actually watching Mudahar while I was doing this, and here's the list. And I was like, all right, so I'm on this list. And it kind of settled my mind a little bit, and I was looking forward to the next day. So come November 4th, I'm working, and I get an email from Evolve. And I'll just read it to you guys, actually. So I get this email from Evolve, and it says, Dear Peablar, as we shared on October 23rd, 2023, Evolve Bank and Trust has been working to return funds held by Evolve to Synapse brokerage and users. We understand this has been a frustrating experience for Synapse's end users, and we share that frustration because of Synapse's unreliable data. It has taken time to reconstruct end users' balances using millions of transaction records. We believe it is our responsibility to conduct a reconciliation to accurately return funds held by Evolve to end users. So the verbiage is a little clearer in there, and they're pretty much saying like, hey guys, you are not Evolve users anymore. You bank with Synapse, which goes against my statements, at least. All my statements say Evolve Bank and Trust on it. And I don't care what legally happened. I mean, I never consented to my account being shifted over. So it's a little concerning that they were distancing themselves in this manner. It is what it is. So I eagerly clicked on this page and I typed in my information. I almost had a heart attack because it wouldn't let my phone number go through, and I had to put dashes in. Once I logged in, this is what they said they had to offer me. $700 on a $20,000 loss, essentially. So I saw this and my heart immediately dropped, and I was like, dude, really, bro? $700? But honestly, like, I'm kind of one of the lucky ones. Some people did get their funds in completion. They got all their money back, or a slight discrepancy. Some people, on the other hand, what I have seen, had $20,000 and been offered 60 cents or even like $200,000, and they were offered like $1.20, I think. So absolutely wild amounts are being thrown around here, and it's just an absolute slap in the face after all of this time. Like, I couldn't imagine being one of those people who had 70 cents being offered to me. Like, I don't understand how that's even possible. Evolve did their reconciliation program and found that they were holding 70 cents for somebody, and Synapse had all of the other money. Like, where is the money? That's the main question I have. From my knowledge, Synapse they're bankrupt. They're going bankrupt, and there's no talk of them possibly, issuing funds. There's also no talk about anybody getting arrested or fraud or anything like that, which makes no sense. This bank is going bankrupt and there's so much money missing. Somebody crunched the numbers on Reddit, and essentially with all of the end users' balances, only like 10% of the sum of money was actually paid out. 10%. So it's a little shady. It's not like there was discrepancies in the ledger in the sense that, they just kind of fudged the numbers a little bit. Because in my mind, all of us in our fintechs who are on our bank apps, we get live updates on every transaction we make, whether money's put in, a card is used, bada bing, bada boom. So every single transaction's in there. So the amount of money that we have is obviously correct. But I guess they're saying that like, hey, Synapse has your money. This is all we have. Sorry. And it's just a little sketchy. Additionally, following this event, a few other questionable things did go down at Evolve. This Redditor posted on the 4th, which is when all of the reconciliation program stuff came out, that the Evolve leadership was terminated, apparently. Multiple sources telling me Evolve CTO Chris Staub and President CEO Scott Stafford have been terminated. Both have been removed from leadership and board pages of Evolve's website that they were previously appeared on. So, like, what is the deal? Like, people don't just get terminated for no reason. And, apparently this isn't Evolve's fault at all, right? So what is going on there? It's a little shady, if you ask me, to say the least. Additionally, another post was put out. This post on the same day says that Lenore, who is the guy in that video before, the founder and, chief executive or whatever of Evolve, apparently he also has been reduced to a different role or something. He's been taken out of power to some degree. So using this web archive, you can see literally one day prior, we have the board of directors, and he's right at the top, Scott Lenore, Chief Executive Officer of Evolve Bank Corp. Now come to today, and it's a little bit different. Boom, the page is gone. So they released their reconciliation program, terminated a bunch of people, and clearly made a bunch of website changes. Now they did open up this leadership page, which I guess is the new version or whatever. And you have a bunch of new faces in here. They got a bunch of presidents. Like, you guys are doing a shit job with all these presidents. What are we doing? Maybe get rid of some of them. And down here we have Scott Lenore, the founder. So is he no longer chief executive? Maybe he just founded the company. He decided to take a little early retirement and just live his life, I guess. So he's no longer chief executive. It's a little sketchy. What's going on at Evolve Bank? Do you guys have the money, or is it just poof, gone, and there's not gonna be any investigation or anything? This is pretty much what went down over the course of the last few months regarding Evolve. It's been a major slap in the face. I mean, I can't say I'm super surprised, but I was hoping that it would be a little more money that they would be able to offer, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. So now it comes to the part of the video where it's like, if you have been affected by this, what are we supposed to do? I didn't accept that money. I didn't take $700. Some people were getting the payment sent to them automatically. And I don't think that if you accept this money, I don't think that that's like you admitting that you're cool with the final amount. I'm pretty sure you can still dispute it. But there's some greater action that I think that you need to take. So I've been on Reddit. I made a Reddit post immediately when I saw that balance. I've been talking to some people, and on Reddit, there's a group of people forming a class action lawsuit. Now, there's been talks here and there over the months of this happening, but this is a major organized plan and a huge group of people coming together in order to make this happen. The idea is, you can go to a lawyer and say, hey, I want to sue this bank because they owe me 10K, 20K, 50K. Yeah, that's cool or whatever. But it's a lot different when we say that there's hundreds of people, thousands of people even, and there's $8 million missing. I believe that's what it's at right now. Just over the last day, the entire group has pretty much doubled, and I've been speaking to the organizers. You're gonna wanna hop onto fightforourfunds.org. The page is being updated. Currently, it'll bring you to a Google Docs page where you can input your name, the amount that you were owed, and your email address so that you can be added into the Google Docs sheet. The website is being updated, however, and they're gonna have a bunch of updates regarding court hearings, and it just seems like a really good resource to get plugged into, especially if you wanna get your money back. I mean, honestly. There's power in numbers, and if we have a lot of people and a lot of money is owed, I think that we have a better chance of something happening. So I highly suggest you go on fightforourfunds.org, put your name in there. You'll be a part of the email list. I'm sure they'll email you out to you. They currently have a ton of people, about $8 million missing, and they're putting together a board of directors, reaching out to a ton of attorneys, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling soon. Do not lose hope, guys. We cannot lose all of our money. Like, this is ridiculous. One way or another, something needs to happen, because truthfully speaking, like, whether or not Evolve has it, doesn't really matter. Personally, I'm sure many of you can agree too, I never signed up for Synapse to move my money around. Never consented to it. And as far as I'm concerned, all of my statements say that I still bank with Evolve. So if this money's missing, it better be FDIC insured, or so help me God. Otherwise, it's just time to sue a bunch of people. And, you know, obviously we may not get our full amounts, but, you know, we can't let whoever's behind this get away with it. Some people need to be convicted. Some business names need to be tarnished. And what can I say? Hopefully we get our bread back soon. Please join the efforts. Fightforourfunds.org. Check it out. Put your name in there and become a part of the group so that we can all fight this together. What is up? It's Peablar from the future. It's been 2 days since I filmed that entire video, but I want to give a little bit of an update. Just yesterday, this was posted, an update on Yotta's website. And I gotta say, Yotta's taking the rare W this time around. I wanna just open up this page and show you guys what they posted as an update in response to Evolve's rollout of the reconciliation. This update log as of November 7th. Please find below copies of Synapse hearing transcripts since 8/15/24. Please also find readily available the definition of gaslighting in the dictionary, psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotion, mental stability, and dependency on the predator. So they're shooting shots at Synapse in the straight up. Also read these, a reminder that the next status conference is on November 13th. Please see our update on November 5th on how to attend. They have the transcripts here, and they have a bunch of stuff that they just say like, hey, straight up, Evolve and Synapse made claims that are false, dude. It says right here, it has been reported that the CTO of Evolve Bank and Trust, Christopher Staub, resigned earlier this week. Another Evolve senior executive resigned last week, citing the prioritization of the integrity and well-being in his LinkedIn farewell post. Evolve announced the completion of the reconciliation on October 18th. They waited until the day before the US presidential election to start alerting end users of the results of that reconciliation. And that alludes to a lot of people theorizing that they did this immediately during the election just so it didn't get any news coverage, which is absolutely insane, bro. Like, what the flip? We were keeping sure to keep in touch with reporters so the above news does not get buried, given the strangely coincidental timing of Evolve's readiness to make payments with the biggest news event in human history. I mean, is it the biggest event in human history? That may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I agree with the sentiment of it, of the point. Absolutely. Please also see below excerpts from the Synapse Financial Technology Status Conference on August 15th, in which representatives of Evolve acknowledged the existence of a deficit that predates an addition of Synapse brokerage cash management accounts. So that means that Evolve said there was a deficit before Synapse even took the money. That's what I'm getting from that, right? Like, what? Please also see below, Evolve representatives say that the reconciliation Ancura and Evolve were performing would be a system-wide reconciliation in which balances at every Synapse ecosystem bank would be determined. That did not happen. So that's regarding every bank in that list, because apparently there's a huge list of banks that Evolve is claiming our money could be spread across. That's what the Synapse ecosystem balance is. Every single bank. And I'm gonna pull that list up real quick. So using the web archive, again, if we go back to October 10th of last year, you can see this list of program banks, and I think that what they're saying is that this is the ecosystem here. Evolve is saying that theoretically our money could be spread across all of these banks. It just keeps going, bro. Alphabetical order, baby. So that's that. And basically, Yotta is saying that when they did this reconciliation process, they did not check any of these banks or anything. They're just saying essentially like, hey, this is what we have, and Synapse has the rest. We don't know where it's at, guys. Peace. Which is unacceptable. I'm glad Yotta's making this post. actually like standing up for themselves a little bit. It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, to be quite honest. And more importantly, what Yotta is saying is that Evolve apparently acknowledged a deficit before Synapse even got involved with this entire ecosystem. So the money shouldn't even be there in the first place. Apparently, it was missing prior. And apparently Yotta says, we asked Evolve for a list of our users' balances per their reconciliation to help us support end users, and they refused to provide to us. Like, why not? Why not be transparent? Isn't that the whole point of having a third party do this reconciliation so that you're not involved? Evolve should have no say in this situation. So that's pretty much the update. I'm gonna throw it back to Peablar in the past, guys. That's gonna pretty much do it for today's video, guys. I hope that this updated you a little bit, informed you on the knowledge, and maybe you joining this fightforourfunds.org will be the best thing that you ever did, because you'll get all your money back. That would be absolutely splendid, dude. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, guys, I post 3 times a week, expose videos, reaction videos, live body cam footage, all types of crazy stuff. Get in the loop, join the Peablar Nation. We post 3 times a week, like I said. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell, and make it a part of your weekly schedule. As for me, I am your boy Peablar. It's been real, guys, and until next time, be well and peace.